أو لا تصبروا سواء عليهم. So be patient in the hellfire, or don't be patient. It doesn't matter, because patience does not carry any weight in that situation in the hellfire for those individuals. Now we talked about hell. Let's talk about the heaven quickly, just so you know our model. Heaven for us is literally a place where you get everything you want.
7 virgins.
You don't have 7.
Okay, I'm off there now.
Every Muslim man gets 2 women as standard. Now there is a hadith in the Tirmidhi that says you get 72 in addition. Now this hadith has been criticized, but really I believe it's authentic hadith. I believe it's an authentic hadith, and hopefully it'll be authentic even if they say it's weak. So the point is this: I feel like some people now in the West they criticize the hadith of the virgins. It's the most ridiculous thing. Why? Because you have intercourse in heaven. It's not the same intercourse that we have in this earth. It's not fraught with the imperfections and the blemishes of the bestial act that is sexual intercourse on this earth. In fact, what it is a pure act which will benefit both parties, right? And it's not just something men will get, it's something women will get as well. Some people say, well, okay, well, the feminist argument, or some other people say, well, how comes you have women serving men in the heaven, and you don't have men or boys serving women? Well, this is not correct, because they haven't read the Quran. The Quran says there will be ghilman, there will be young boys as well, or young men also serving men and women. There will be wildan and ghilman. These words are used in chapter 56 of the Quran, chapter 55 of the Quran, chapter 76 of the Quran, talking about these people that will serve. So it's not like there's nothing to do with gender here. It's just the reality that human beings have certain cravings, as we know from society, and certain interests. You were talking about what you want to do.
Yeah.
So we don't want to go and turn around and say, no, I want to sleep with X amount of women. This is the first thing you said to me today. And now when we talk about the virgins, 7 virgins, so isn't that what you wanted all along? Do you know what I'm saying? So you'll get what you want. We just have to be patient. Now the point I'm making to you is this. Basically heaven, the Prophet said, ما خطر على قلب بشر. It's something which no human being can actually imagine. So although the descriptions of heaven and hell are very much vivid and have a lot of imagery, they cannot be, the actual heaven and the actual hell can never be actually grasped by human beings, because we've never experienced these things. Going back to our original epistemology, we can only envisage that which we have experience of. We have no experience of these domains, so we can't even begin to imagine what they will actually look like and be. But it suffices to say, heaven is where you get everything you want and more, and there'll be no pain, and everything will be pleasurable. And hell is the opposite. Everything will be painful and there'll be no pleasure at all.
Can I ask one thing? Is that a good place to start off, to try and get people to convert to Islam? Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm just telling you about the basic.
I say, listen.
Yes.
Come over to Islam. You fucking get 7 virgins. You get all this and that. Or if you don't, you're going to go to hell. Now I've told you. Do you understand? Does everyone understand that?
Yes.
Is that a good way to get people in and say, listen?
No.
Become a Muslim.
My function here.
Is that correct?
I can see what you're saying.
Thank you.
Usually I don't go around telling people this, yeah, but I don't put it in the way that you.
I'm not trying to scrutinise.
No. You're like, I like your way, Albert.
I want to be friends, man.
No, I like you.
That's what I want.
But I'm just telling you the basic beliefs, because it's very important that we know what we believe in. All right, so that's what we believe in. What I call you to is to worship God. That's what I'm calling you to.
One quick one, you sort of before I forget it. If God created us all,
yes,
why has He created so many different diversities and so many different gods? And so, I mean, as you know, I'm not a believer.
To test the true man. Do you reckon?
Okay, thank you. I mean, that's very good. You see, this guy's getting it already. لِنَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّهُكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. He's created the life and death.
You say it too quick.
He said in the Quran, in chapter 67, verse 2, he said, we have created life and death, so you can test of you who's best of you in deeds.
Yeah.
But not only this, it's correct, yes. But it's the thing is, you have a lot of false deities. We believe that some of those false deities are our own desires. For example, the Quran says, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you seen the one who takes his own desires as a god? What is a god, right? A god is something which you ultimately submit to.
Yeah.
You submit to your own desires. Some human beings, like in this world that we live in now, they literally submit to their own desires. everything they want to do, that is the ultimate for them. Therefore, they've made themselves the God. You see. So, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Ta'isa abdul dinari wa dirham." He said, "Woe be to the one who is the slave of the dinar and the dirham, which are two currencies, money." So some people worship money. Some people worship themselves. In capitalism, you see what I mean? Yeah. So thank you for being so forthright about it. But the point being is that we believe that with this comes a curse. Because money, capitalism has produced nothing but inequalities, poverty. I'm talking about an absolute capitalism. And also a self vacuum that is produced from oneself. So I would say that is why it's important for us to realize now the real purpose of life. The Quran says, "Ala بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ." Only with the remembrance of God do hearts find rest. So, because our intrinsic nature is that we were created by this Creator, if we try and worship any of those false gods, we will no doubt be in a state of depression. You'll be depressed. But when you are worshipping the Almighty God who created you, then we believe in this case the Creator, the entity that created all that exists, in this case you will find your purpose in life. You see what I mean? So, and this is not a new thing. I mean, we believe all the prophets came with this. Moses came with this, Abraham came with this, Jesus, and all of these prophets. We don't believe they were gods. We believe that they came to tell the people about God. You see. And that's where the Christians got it wrong in our opinion. We say that Christians say that Jesus is God.
No, Jesus was the Son of God. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, who was
no, but
praying to?
they believe that
Catholics believe that Jesus is the Son of God.
No. They believe in both.
I mean, I don't really understand any.
Catholics and Protestants both believe that Jesus was God and the Son of God at the same time. Yeah, which is false. Okay, we say that this is something which can't be substantiated, and not the words of Jesus. Jesus said in John chapter 5 verse 30, "I submit my will to the will of the Father who sent me." So we say that all the prophets who came to believe in one God and to tell the people to worship in one God, and that's basically what we're here for. Prophet Muhammad was different because we say that he was sent with the same message. The difference being was that he, instead of saying it to the people, locals, he said it for all humanity. In chapter 7 verse 157 or 158 of the Quran, it says, "Say, O Muhammad, inni Rasulullah ilaykum jami'an," that I am a prophet for all of you all together. You know, all together. In chapter 34 of the Quran, verse 28, in Surah Saba, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا كَافَةً لِلنَّاسِ وَلَكِنْ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. That we haven't sent you except for all of human beings. But most people don't know about that. And that's why I'm here to tell you about it. So you know about it. So this Prophet Muhammad, we believe he came for all the humans, to tell them to worship him God. That's all it is. And that the last book is the Quran. This is the final book that was sent. There were books that were sent before, but they were changed. They were changed.
Is it like you got the New Testament, the Bible, the New Testament?
That's right. That's right. So we think all of those things were changed. So does this make sense to you guys?
You talk very intelligently.
Well, the truth convinces most.
Well, no, you're a very intelligent man, where I ain't.
You don't need to be intelligent to recognize the truth. In fact, recognizing the truth makes you intelligent, in my opinion. So I feel like the fact that you've seen truth in what I say is not because of how I'm saying it. It's because of what I'm saying. Most of what I've said today has not been my words. Have been the words of the Quran. Have been the words of the Sunnah. Have been the words of the Prophet Muhammad. So if you're convinced by that, you're not convinced by me. You're convinced by the words of the one who I'm narrating from. So I would say to you, if it hit your heart and it touched you, the natural next step is to worship God. Is to accept God.
And then we get all them virgins.
You'll get them later on. You'll get them.
Yeah. I bet I'm going to be a rebel for a couple of years.
Listen. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. Let me tell you something, all right? Being a rebel will not. One of the tabi'in, one of the scholars, let's say, yeah. He said, "Listen, where can you go that doesn't belong to God?
Nowhere.
You know, where can you go and be a rebel?" Okay, he said, "Look, you want to be a rebel? Okay, I'll make you a deal."
Not a rebel from the fucking...
I know, you want to do the things that you aforementioned.
Yeah.
No problem. How about this? We'll make a deal. All right, you can do that. No problem. We'll do. You can do that, brother. Okay? No, this is my fatwa, I've given the fatwa, the religious ruling, yeah? You can do that. So long as you find a place in the universe, where you, or anywhere in the creation,
Yeah.
where you can do that and you won't be spotted by God, or where it doesn't, that place is not owned by God, you can do it in that place. The point is, you can never hide from the one who sees all. You can never hide. God, if you want God in your life, God, we believe, will be literally with you in a, not literally in a physical sense, but we're talking about, He will help you.
Yeah.
Right? So, the Quran says, when and I'm closer to Him, min habil al-warid, that God is in knowledge closer to you than your jugular vein. So in other words, there will come a time when we all die.
Yeah.
We want to be realizing our purpose at every turn. Right now is a time for us to realize our purpose, in my opinion. We need to be realizing our purpose today, tomorrow and the day after. We can't afford to live a life, in my opinion, where we're not on track.
Yeah.
Because if we die and all the things that I've just mentioned actually happen, I mean, imagine that, right? And moreover, even in this world, let's be honest, when you do those things, what does it do for you? Let me be sorry, but here you have sexual intercourse. However long it takes you, after you've done your thing, and you release, what now? What have you really achieved?
Yeah, nothing.
You
After
can,
you do, it's,
you can have sexual intercourse 1,000,000 times or 100,000 times, and believe me, it will not bring you that sense of self-actualization, as Maslow calls it.
It's the chase, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. But even that chase, it's not.
saying, people
It's
enjoy
not going
the
to give
chase,
you that
it's all over.
self-actualization. It's not going to make you feel like I've achieved my purpose in life. I've had sexual intercourse.
no.
It's not. If you go and take as many pills as you want to take, ecstasy
Yeah, exactly.
and this and that.
That's exactly what I like to do.
No, but if you do it,
I do, yeah.
right, and I'm saying if you continue doing it,
Yeah.
it's not going to make you stand there in front of the mirror one day and says, Albert, now I can say I've done it all. And now I can say I've realized my true purpose. Do you know the secret of happiness in life? And by the way, happiness is not the ultimate goal. I'll tell you, it's not the ultimate goal. It's false to assume that happiness is the ultimate goal. I would say contentment is the ultimate goal. Because happiness is a psychological state, which by the way is not sustainable for a longevous amount of time.
Yeah,
It's
you
not.
need ups and downs.
No, it's not even.
action
It's
is
not
a
even
reaction.
good, because psychologically and physiologically, if you're always happy and buzzing, you'll end up making risky decisions, and you'll do things to jeopardize your own well-being and others. So happiness is not the end goal, in my opinion. The real end goal is contentment, and that's why the Quran says, "Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub." That certainly with the remembrance of God, do hearts find rest. The word is rest, where we feel like we're content.
Yeah.
So I'm not promising you that if you're going to become Muslim, that every day of your life it's going to be it's like taking a tablet or a pill.
Yeah, of
No,
course not, of course.
it's going to be a different kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's going to bring you now into a state of rest, tranquility. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said in the hadith, do you know what he said? He said, "Ajaban li amr al-mu'min." He said, "Wondrous is the affair of the believer." He said, "Wondrous is the affair of the believer."
Yeah, go on.
Inna amrahu kullahu lahu khayrun. That all of his affairs are good. وَلَيْسَ ذَاكَ لِأَحَدٍ إِلَّا لِلْمُؤْمِنِ. He said, this is not the case for anyone except for the believer. إِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ صَرَّاء شَكَرَ. If good things happen to him, he's thankful. وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ ضَرَّاء صَبَرَ وَشَكَرَ. If bad things happen to him, he is patient and he's also thankful.
Yeah.
So the real believer, the real person who's achieved that purpose of life, yes, they might not always be happy, but they will always be in a state of tranquility and contentment. And they will always be in a state of what we call rida, acceptance.
Yeah.
So this is what I can promise you. If you are a true Muslim, if you become a true submitter to God's law,
Yeah.
what will happen is, no, you're not going to get like a ecstasy rush. You're not going to get that kind of a rush. But what you are going to get, if you do it properly over a span of a consistent period of time,
Yeah.
is you'll get contentment, fulfillment and tranquility, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact. And you will not be touched with depression. That is something I can guarantee you.
Really?
Yes. If you're doing it properly, you will not be touched with, in my opinion, you will not be touched by depression.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Can I add something to that? Like, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, of course.
So basically, the brother spoke well. Like obviously, there's nothing that you can't get from him. But the thing is this: becoming a Muslim. If you forget the Arabic word, Muslim means something to submit. But before you become a Muslim, this is the kind of steps you go through: awareness, knowledge of God, and then after that, slowly you get to everything. So what do I mean by awareness? There are people that think the Quran is specific about the people that they talk to. Like every verse for certain people. The Quran literally says, "This verse are for those who think. These verses are for the wise. These verses, so on and so on." So depending on what kind of person you are, for example, I like to reflect on nature. For example, I like the patterns of nature. I like how when you take a bee or a certain insect out, everything else collapses. And I'm thinking, whoa. I'm thinking like if you take human beings out, everything will stay. So everything will be the same way. But you try to mess up with the laws of nature, things collapse. You feel me? So as a human being, where am I from? Why am I not connected to the chain? Imagine you rely on the chains, but the chain is not connected to you. So who are you then? Where do you come from? Where do you go back to? Why is your life so short? You know, there are things that you think about that then through that awareness of nature takes you back to the reflection of God. Now you're thinking, who is God? Now this is the kind of God that we're trying to look into. So how do you connect to? Muslim means someone that's submitted to, for example, there's Muslim and Islam. Islam is the follower of peace, and Muslim is the one that's submitted to peace. But now where is the peace coming from? Peace is the essence. Like for example, what is the essence of peace? God is the essence of all peace, essence of all light. In this world, we have two kinds of lights. We have borrowed light and a given light. For example, the sun is a given light. The moon is a borrowed light. But the soul is a given light. So now, the reason why I'm giving you this distinction is that it's God that gives light. For example, there is glitter and glamour. That's what I'm trying to get to. Glitter and glamour, they only glitter through borrowed light. For example, you get a diamond, you put a torch on it, it will glitter. Take the torch away, it will dim off. So human beings certainly chase glitter and glamour, things that without the essence, without the given light of God, they would dim out. You understand? So that is becoming a Muslim is submitting to the peace, to the light of the essence, to where light and peace comes from. So once you gain that, then everything else will make sense to you. It's like adding 1 + 1 = 2. You know, Islam, it's not like, it's like a mathematical effect. For example, in math, if someone tells you 1 + 1 = 4, it doesn't make sense. Right? So that's the kind of sense you will get if you try to understand what Islam is. Thank you.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Thank you. Excellent. So what I'm going to say to you now is I think the next step for us could be the following, Now, being a Muslim doesn't mean that we're going to jump, you've got to follow all these rules all the way, because it's difficult. Easy in, easy out. What I would say is, I feel like you do accept that, you know, we accepted that as the creator of the universe, And we accepted that there should be some kind of terms of agreement between there's a relationship between the creation and the creator. There should be some kind of relationship. And the most rational relationship is one of submission. So if you think about it, we really define this as worship. And it's better we would say it's more appropriate to worship this creator than it is to worship any of the other false deities like yourself or money or these things. It makes more sense. And we also accept that all of the prophets came with the same message and it ended with Prophet Muhammad. So if you accept all of that, you're ready to do the Shahada. Now the Shahada really is a testimony of faith, which will bring you into Islam.
What's it called in Shahada?
It's called Shahada.
Is it when you convert?
Yes. So you say the Shahada, it's just 2 words, 2 lines you say. Afterwards, the brother here will give you his number. I'll give you my number. I will be in contact with each other, trying to tell you about the next steps. Of course, you can come to the masjid. It's next to Ramadan. Ramadan will be a nice time for you to get, you know what I'm saying, into the community and stuff like that. So are you ready to do this?
No.
I like it.
I like the brotherhood as well. I like that.
All right, if you're not ready to do it, it's fine.
No, like I said, I would be a rebel for a bit.
Give it time.
I'm open-minded.
He'll still give you his number. I'll still give you mine. What we're going to do is I'm going to tell you to now read a little bit into the Quran and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be the next step for me personally. Just to read the Quran, maybe see what it's
I think
really
that makes
about.
sense. That makes a lot of sense.
What's really happening.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that people emphasise on. Is it really in the Quran? Like Tommy Robinson, like the stuff he grinds on, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, the Prophet Muhammad going with a 9-year-old and stuff like that. I'm
These
just
people
saying.
don't even speak Arabic.
Yeah, so
I'm saying, no,
look,
digging it out. Why are they digging it out? What is it about?
Tommy,
You know what I mean?
Tommy, these individuals, look, they're making money from it, all right? I mean, you've got to understand that these individuals are trying their best to pull out certain things and say things like that. But you know,
just putting out like.
yeah, our context. Read it for yourself. That's the first thing.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Read it for
that's
yourself.
what have to be done.
I recommend that you
But
read
there's
chapter
certain
50
things in Sharia
to the
law
end.
that I don't agree with whatsoever, but
Yeah.
that's like.
But look, Sharia law, yeah, are the branches of the tree. You'll never understand or agree with some of those branches of the tree unless you find out what the foundations of the tree is. And the foundations are, it's like what Tawheed is, what
I've got it already. Is that
believe
what
in
you
God
said?
is.
I've got it.
All those things. Read chapter 50 to 114 and we'll see each other. He'll give you, make sure you take his details and stuff like that. And we'll keep in contact with you.
Yeah.
Listen, being a rebel has its time, right? And also being
It'll end
submissive
one
has
day,
its time.
maybe I'll be something.
You never know, man. Man, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man.
Yeah, good.
Thank you very
It's
much,
good to hear,
man.
man.
Yeah, thank you a lot, man.
One day I'll be
Remember
a
to
brother.
connect-
Inshallah.
Remember to connect that. You look like
Inshallah.